Hello, another demo review video. So it's the same deal as last time. I'm just going to go through the demos and just, comment on what happens. And if anybody knows better than me, just call my shit out in the comments, because I'm not some kind of oracle on this subject. I'm just trying to help people. So, yeah. Okay, so first demo against, Daniel on GT4. Dan is an aimer, so this map is a lot of the time gonna be a lot of losing those aim battles where you're evenly stacked in some circumstances. And really you need to be able to pick up things, and you need to be able to stack better than them, basically, is the process of winning this. So that's an important thing to think about.
Three, two, one, fight!
Okay, getting the yellow off the spawn. I do like this move, but it's kind of risky depending on where your opponent spawns, because if they get rockets, they can just kill you here. But I think denying that is good, just in terms of limiting the impact of Dan getting the highest spawn. So now you have a pretty good stack for yourself. Now at this point, yeah, once you heard them at the top there, coming in, definitely should not have taken that jump pad. Now the plan should just be to work your way onto LG, just take shots from a distance, try and get Mega, basically. So, kind of stuck here. And I don't know why they used the fists there, they kind of threw a bit with that. Just having them get out. Would have liked to have seen you take the middle armor first, just to deny it from them, because they just got red, so you know that they're going to be close to it once they take the telly. And still not taking the yellow, you can at least deny the position, and that way you're going to make it a bit more difficult for Dan to stack back up, whereas here you've given them armor for free. And yeah, they take it. Realistically, in this situation, I don't think you go down to the low ground at all, because there's no need for it. The low ground is definitely the weaker position on this map, and a lot of the time it can help to stay in control if you just don't enter it, just because of the fact that there's only a red and a green down there, so you can easily match the stack from that and get Mega. And you have an advantageous position in that you're up on high ground. So, and yeah, getting chased with the LG. Nice rocket, protecting yourself. Here, I think it's a bad play from them that they chase you, but they do manage to get you. But nice rocket. Kind of a miracle you didn't die there. Sometimes when you get that spawn, it's like there's not much you can do. I guess they were just leaving, but could have played that probably a bit slower, just to limit how much you give them your position, because if they find out that you're there, then what they do is they just move towards you with LG or rail, and they just pin you, and they just kill you again. Could have been faster on the other yellow here. Good thing Dan wasn't on it, or like close to it, but yeah, should have got that a bit quicker, really. And you're still not getting it. Again, you need to get that yellow. Here, where they fall down, you should be aware that they're there and be looking at them. Just because if you walk across from them, this kind of thing's going to happen, where they're just going to shoot at you and you're just going to absorb damage and not hit anything back. Nice rockets. Pretty nice on that. And now just forced into the low ground. Unfortunate you didn't do that jump. Cool the way you lost that fight, just like, I don't know, aim being bad. You could probably not have taken the teleporter, but I don't know how much difference that would have made. But, you know, they shouldn't have pushed that so hard, I don't think. In a very dangerous position here. You need to be careful going across there, because that type of thing can happen, just like rails being hit. And, yeah, taking a lot of damage there. And again, it's the thing where I think you have to play this a bit slowly. Don't immediately spawn in if you know that you're spawning in this position, because what happens now is Dan realizes you're there. Or not. Okay. Almost hit you with the rail. But being able to get yourself onto the yellow because the chase just a bit too hard. And here, once you get up to the high ground, just because of Dan's position, I think it's worth walking in slow and just shooting rockets at the floor close to them, rather than running all the way up here and taking a rail, because you can potentially scare them off a bit just with the damage. And again, you put yourself in a very weak position, dropping down to behind the LG. That's not really a place on the map you ever want to be unless you're going to take the jump pad and nobody's there. Just because of, you know, how easy it is to die there. Very bad spawn, but you don't get chased. And, yeah, you can take the red armor here. Weird fight to use a super shotgun. You should have just used the rail. Nice super shotgun there. And here, yeah, I think just building your resources on the top of the map is the play. Here, either shoot the grenades before you see them or shoot rockets. Because now here you're in a fight that you really didn't need to be taking. It took you too long to do something about that, and that now you have, like, no stack left. And here, again, when you hear that they're close by, you should be looking towards the doorway with rockets, because it's very hard to push through that doorway if it's being knocked down. But you do hit some damage, though. I like the juking with the sound. Just dropping down, and then immediately going back up. Yeah, I don't have much to say about that, but apart from, I don't know, you could have been faster, I guess, but it's also like, you would have taken more damage again. Again, look at them. Good super shotgun, no. So once again, getting rad. And really now, you need to be, thinking about how to get yourself onto Mega. Getting the yellow at least, pretty good. And then see if you can deny the middle one. There you go, that's how you do it. Just, you know, lock down the position with spam, with nades, with Gotlong. You know, just try and prevent them from pushing on. And then you can take it for yourself and you can deprive them of the resources. I don't like the drop there. Nice. So, punishing Dan's mistake, just them putting themselves in, you know, a very tight area, and you get the rail. So, well done on that. And now you can finally kind of get back in. So, the idea from here is that you want to kind of rotate towards the middle of the map, like where the middle yellow spawns, and just, like, listen for where Dan spawns, and then based on that, you can react accordingly. Because in that position, you can actually hear every spawn on the map, and you can hear people walking around anywhere. And you can act on that information. I do not like the play dropping down here. Dan's next move is likely to try and get to high ground, because they don't have much else to do. But you do manage to catch them out here, which is good. Absorbing the rockets, though. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the drop there. I like the play where you're just, you know, shooting the doorway with the rockets, but I think you should have backed up and done that a bit more. Very dangerous situation for you here. Nice reaction time though. And yeah, now you need help on stack. And that's a bad spawn for Dan. Shit happens, but it gives you more. And now it's a much closer game. So now that you've got red, you need to find health, and then you need to find a way to push up onto the high ground. Getting that yellow helps a lot. Really, what you want to do is just prevent Dan from getting Mega. Because if you get Mega, then you're stacked, you know, 200, basically 200. Hitting some nice damage there. And after that point, you really need to be, I think, asserting your position in the Mega Room more, because with all that damage that Dan's taken, it's going to be difficult for them to commit to it. But, you know, instead you just drop down, and it kind of gives Dan the opportunity to hit damage on you from an advantageous position. If they had stayed up top, then they would have been able to hit more on you, probably, and potentially get a frag. I like you denying the tele exit, but you really do need to be looking towards Dan there, just in case they hit you with a rail or something, so you can return the damage. And then, you know, just look towards the tele exit once they can't shoot you anymore, because it's not like it's more efficient to just look at the tele exit while they're stood right there. Shame you had no ammo for that. You do get the LG box, but I think good just leaving that fight there, not, you know, following up. Here, I don't know why you leave the Mega Room, because you're stacked better than Jameson, and you give them space here. They do chase you there. And now, I think one of the big things holding you back on GT4 particularly is that you seem to play red armor too much. Red armor is generally, like, that's the losing position, just because if you're playing Mega, you have access to more. If you have the Mega, you have the 2 yellows, you know, it just translates to more. If your opponent gets red, you get both yellows. So it's a thing where I think you need to focus on playing the high ground more. Here, I think this is an LG fight. There you go. You dropping here is bad. You should have just stuck to the position. But you do get Mega, at least. I think, generally, the best way to handle this would be just to stick in the LG fight. Just force Dan to fight that fight, because they're still stacked worse than you. And then, try and just either get them to leave or kill them. And then once you do that, you can get them Mega. Because realistically, they can't drop for the Mega when you're stood there. They're going to absorb a rocket or a rail or something if they do that. I don't like the way you pushed that. I think you should have just stood at the top of the staircase and just waited to see what they do. And if they run, then you can maybe chase, or you can, you know, go to the Gotlung and try and hit a rail or something. Because now, yeah, you're giving them opportunities to hit damage. And again, being forced to the low ground, even though you're in a better position, just kind of, you know, it's those little things that you're giving up that is giving Dan an in, when you should be able to follow up on these frags that you're getting. Good that you didn't chase that super hard, because any fight up that jump pad is a losing fight. Yeah, the super shotgun there at that close of a range, I tend to not use it, just because the amount that you have to flick to hit the shot is kind of annoying. just barely losing that fight there. You're very lucky you got away with that. If Dan had, like, a weapon like rockets or LG or something, you would have died. Yeah, whenever you go by yellow, realistically, you should be properly checking if it's up and not just, like, you know, doing a double take and then picking it up, I think. Just because it's more efficient. So you're not stacked too bad, but this is a situation where I think you leave the room and you just back out to red, just because Dan's position over you is a lot better by default once they take that teleporter. And yeah, here you absorb some LG without hitting any return damage, which is not a good thing to do. And you end up not really hitting much there. So, I think the better idea is just to, you know, rotate towards red, pick up red when it's up, and then just see when you can repush. Just because a fight like that, like, you're not going to be able to do anything, really. A fight when you're on those stairs and Dan has, like, the rail on you, Dan can see you better than you can see them, so... So, getting the resources below, it's not too bad now, but... Nice LG there. Nice denying the tele exit. You could just use Gotlung instead, just because if they go through, the damage is probably going to be a bit higher, but yeah. Once they take the tele, you should be focusing on the tele exit. There's no reason to be staring in the direction you're staring in.
1 minute remaining.
And some nice rockets, just catching Dan out when they overcommit. Nicely played there. And, yeah, they're being too aggressive here. I think once you're at 100 health, you don't take that fight. It's kind of, it's very risky. Red is probably about to be up, unless Dan took it, which they might have, I don't know. And then, you can just work your way back in. Because 2 frags difference is not much. But you do get the frag anyways, which is fine. And then here, I don't like that you go back into this room, because, again, you have no stack. Dan's just took the jump pad, and they're about to have LG, so it's kind of a bit late for that window where you punish them for going into that position.
You're tied for the lead.
Very, very risky. Could have very easily been that you miss the rocket, you hit like 50 damage or something, and then they just pin you to the wall and they kill you with the LG. But you get the frag, nonetheless. I'm picking up the red. Not too bad. And so, neither of you really doing that much in this position. Dan does get the sneaky rail on you. I think you should have been watching that doorway a bit more just to prevent that from happening. You could have positioned yourself maybe slightly differently, because you can tell that Dan is, like, around the area, and it's really just a matter of stopping them from hitting that damage on you there. But, taking it slow into sudden death, which I think is fine, because it's not like your stack was, like, amazing. Unless it was, and I just didn't see. So now, really, here, you just have to be very, very careful, because, you know, the next frag ends the game. So you don't want to be the next frag. So, I like you denying the yellow here and then returning to the red. Just because it's, like, you don't want to give Dan something to push with. And Mega's not going to be up right now, I don't think. So, really just playing in the safest way is what you want to do. Nice damage there. I don't like the way you push onto them here. Very easily you could have taken a direct or something, and it would have been bad for you. But you do win the fight there, and that's kind of the important bit, so... yeah. Well played on that one. Punished some of Dan's mistakes, which is quite good. And, you know... just generally playing, I think, better than you were previously, which is good. It feels like you're a bit more aware of the fight you're taking and trying to, you know, make those as efficient as possible. So, well done. Well done. Okay, so, here playing against me, I do like to think Duel 5 is the map that I'm, like, best at. Duel 5, Ironforge, those kinds of slower maps, and, you know, generally speaking, I think I usually play a bit more, not slow, but, like, just defensive, I guess. So, here, it's a matter of, you needing to, prevent me from being able to do that by hitting damage on me in a lot of positions where I'm about to pick things up. So,
3,
see what you can do here.
1, fight!
So the red spawn is pretty good. But then, instead of taking the telly here, I think really what you should do is go towards LG. Just because, now that you've done this, assuming I spawned in Mega, I definitely get Mega and I definitely get the lower yellow. And then you're leaving the upper yellow up for me to pick up, which is going to make it so that the stacks aren't equal. And instead you push me like this, which I think is a little too aggressive for this early in the game. Because we both have a similar stack. I'm stacked slightly better. And now you've just got yourself stuck in this yellow spawn. A big thing about Duel 5 with this yellow spawn is that you just don't want people to get out of it for free. Because it's a very easy space to punish if someone's down there. So, yeah, going to be very difficult for you now here, trying to get out. And you do manage to get out, but like I said, you know, your stack, and you don't have the weapons either. You just have super shotgun, so you can't really be doing these like mid-range fights that tend to happen on this map, because you just don't have anything to do it with. You really needed LG for that, is what you needed. So, just trying to stay out of, you know, any bad fights, which I think is good. Here where you push for red, risky, but I guess it works. But then here, once you get red, I think you just rotate to LG. You want to slow the game down because you don't have the most amazing stack, and you can potentially get the upper yellow. Here, yeah, just a shame you missed that rocket. And I like you sneaking here. You don't need to rush. It's, you know, a 10-minute game, and there's no frags on the board. So there's really no need to overly, you know, panic. And now finally you get LG. So you can hear that I'm close by, I think. Yeah. Nice rocket there. Shame the aim wasn't there, but you do leave the fight in time. You rotate towards where I am, which I think is a little bit, you could have maybe taken that a bit slower once you saw the rocket, not tried to push through. Just because if I'd have stayed in this position, you would have died. And I don't know if I like you rocket jumping for the yellow, but it is faster. Here, there's no reason to commit to this fight. Just take the jump pad and leave. Because once you get up to LG, it's very difficult for me to push through that. But it just takes you a bit too long. And you drop down. One thing to note about this map is that, like, the LG spawn is a very safe position, just because of how difficult it is to push. So if you're getting in these fights where, you know, you're losing all your stack, that's really a position that you need to be including in your rotations. Just because it's going to make it very difficult for me to, you know, get you in the meantime when you're up there. Because, yeah, now you put yourself in a position where I can hit you and you're not looking at me and I frag you. This is just a really bad spawn. I like you sneaking here, not giving away your position. And then you see that I'm in the same room. Not rushing to this, which I think is good. Just kind of playing out the way. That's generally a pretty good way to ensure that you get the stack, is just that you don't, you know. This is a bad fight for you. And now you just really need to not be seen. Who's the thing here? I think really you should have gone up to LG again, you know, get the upper yellow. And then you can figure out from there, okay, do I want to play around LG? Is there anything up that I can contest? Well, not really contest, but is there anything up that I can pick up? You know, that kind of thing. Because being alive is dangerous if you don't have stack, obviously. So nice not sticking around that fight too long. And I let you get red here, I think. Okay, no. Once you saw me, that should have been your cue to get out. You should have just gone through the telly and maybe, like, dropped for yellow and just figured out your rotation from there. Just because you're stacked so low, one shot kills you. Very lucky you didn't die here. And then, yeah, you taking the telly so long after, you don't have the stack for a fight in there. Because if you take the telly, I think the important thing to think about is, like, you can do that kind of play if you have the stack for it, but you're always going to be taking damage if you go through the telly and there's someone there. So, the important thing is that you be stacked for it, and you just weren't. So you died. Here I just do a rocket jump up. It's a good way to catch people out. The second that you notice that I've rocket jumped up there, that's your cue to leave. It's really just a matter of, like, just reacting to it in time if you can. Very lucky you didn't take a lot of damage there. I wouldn't have done something as aggressive as that. Here, you loitering around this area, I don't think is a good idea, because you really don't have any good offensive weapon. You can maybe get something out of the super shotgun, but once you've shot it, I'm gonna... Yeah. Once you've shot the super shotgun, it just takes so long for you to be able to do damage again, and you don't want to miss that. So it's a thing where I think, once you noticed I was there, just because you don't have any stack, and you only have, like, you don't have weapons that are amazing in a close range fight, you know, that should be your cue to leave. Really just a lot of, like, figuring out when you need to leave. That was a good shot. And so here you're in another position where you just want to play it slow. Make sure that you're not rushing yourself, because that tends to be when you die, is when you freak out and you're like, I have to get out of here. Just, you know, keep calm, keep cool, and just wait for something that you can leave. And here, you peeping out for the damage and then dropping down, like, yeah, I'm gonna hit you with a lot of LG. Those really... If you're gonna go up the top way, you should do it when there's nobody there, and you can do it while playing the high ground without dropping down. Because, again, you die like that. Okay, getting the mega here. Really, should have checked to see if I was still there, because that's a fight that you lose, probably, if I am. But you get the mega, and you're lucky that I wasn't there. Nice damage here. Just a shame you lose that fight. Nice grenade. Shit. That was pretty good. Okay, you get red for free. Not bad. Again, you should be going for the upper yellow. It's up. You want to get yourself back into the game by having a better stack than me, because that's really how you win on this map. So, you can't just be, like, hitting all these aim fights. You need to actually be taking items to get back in. But you do get the mega health, which is pretty good. So now I think you're stacked better than me. I like here, rotating to this position. You should have had rockets out as you were going in once you noticed I wasn't on the top bit, I think. Just because rockets make it that much easier to stop someone from getting out. And you missed the opportunity to hit damage, but I won't go on you too hard for that because it's just a thing where it's like... Sometimes it happens. So here, knowing that I'm by LG, just trying to stop me from picking things up, I think is a good play. And then you, leave? Okay. I guess I did drop, so... But you had me very low for a second. You should have been trying to find a way to push me. Because now you're in a very passive position. And you let me have Mega as well, which is not good. You're letting me back into the game after you just did all that damage. Dropping down there? Yeah, I don't think that's the play. That's too aggressive. You could have stayed in that position for a little bit longer. Just, you know, you have exits close to you, so you can leave if you need to. And you can just, you know, try and stop me from getting out from the yellow spawn without taking damage. Bad rocket to take here. Not really much you can do on 4 health on red armor. So. So you immediately get the yellow there. And then, that's another thing where it's just like reacting. You heard me rocket jump, but also I don't know. I guess it's difficult to necessarily say that I jumped up to on top, but it's a thing to be aware of, again. Because I hit a lot of damage on you there, coming up behind you. And yeah, going for yellow there kills you just because it's such a risky position and I'm close by. Here, yeah, there's no reason for you to be dropping down. And yeah, that's a fight that you obviously lose. If you didn't drop down there, you could have taken the yellow. You could have started building resources from there. Potentially, you could have got the red. I don't know if it's up at the moment. It might be. Not quite yet, but, you know, you could have been building resources for yourself instead of just throwing yourself at me and dying. So going for the red. Now your next move should be getting the 50 because you don't have much health. You really do need to start thinking about, like, oh, I have low health, I'm not being pushed. I should take the 50. That's a big thing. And, you know, dropping there, very lucky you didn't get instantly evaporated. Because that's kind of dangerous. Here, when you take this jump pad, I think it's good practice usually to just watch the telly exit by it. If you know that your opponent's not in the room next to you. Just because if they take the telly exit, then, you know, you can hit damage on them. Because if you're not looking at it, they have the advantage of being behind you. Okay, nice not overly committing to that fight. You don't have the stack for it, and you're fighting through a choke. I think Mega just spawned behind you, didn't it? I think. You didn't pick it up. Maybe I'm mistaken. I do get it, so... And then, you shouldn't be walking into the room with SSG. You should have LG out, just because you can knock me back quite far if you get into a fight in that position. Okay, good. Switching to the rockets here. You lose that LG fight. You should have been backing out through the door to the Gotlung, or, you know, to the middle of the red armor room. So, just kind of committing to that too much when you had no chance of winning it. Okay, good that you get out of there and don't overly commit. And that you figure out that I changed my plan and I'm about to take the jump pad. Nice damage. But then just rotating yourself back into the position. You hear me by the upper doorway, or by the LG ammo doorway, and yet you still put yourself in a position where you're in front of me. Really, you just need to be, you know, scrounging around for armors that I'm not in front of. And yeah, you get knocked into the lava. Good that you don't commit to that. And that you hear where I'm going and you just stay out. And here you should have heard that I was behind you. There's only one telly there. There's actually only one telly on the map, so you should have really known. And you should have been looking at me. It's the important thing. Here, not good staying in this fight. I would either drop down and then just go towards under the Gotlung spawn, or just back out through the Gotlung spawn door. Good thing I missed that rocket, but, you know, very dangerous. That was just a shame. You could have been faster on that red, really. So now in a very difficult position. I don't believe anything's up, really. It might be the lower yellow. But, you know, very difficult for you here. Good not committing to that position. You can't take a fight like that. And then just leaving. I think it's pretty good. Could have maybe gone for the red, but... yeah, I just stayed in that position. I think I just did that to throw you off, rather than taking the red, so... yeah, and now I have the red again. And here, good play, you're on the yellow, and then I take the telly, and you're just like, okay, clearly there's nothing for me here. If I take this fight, I'm gonna die, I'm just gonna leave. That's a good play.
1 minute remaining.
And then, you know, going up to high ground once you hear me drop, yeah, pretty good. So you actually did hit some decent damage on me. When I went through there, I'm surprised I didn't get Mega, but I guess you get it for yourself. And here, I think you're too aggressive. You push up to the doorway, which gives me the space to leave, because I can just be like, okay, I drop down, and he's not looking at me anymore, so I can just run, and he's gonna struggle to catch me. You do almost kill me there, but just about not cleaning it up. Here, it's another thing where you just should be looking at your opponent. There's a good chance you could have killed me there if you were looking at me, I think. You finally get rockets. Should have thought about picking it up sooner, really. Nice rockets, but, you know, just not quite enough. And the rocket jump is weird, should have just taken the telly. Actually, I get that it's the end of the game, though, so it might just be that. But, yeah, in a situation like that, you just want to take the telly exit. So, yeah. That's, like, I win that. But, yeah. I think your play is definitely improving. It's just a matter of some of it's just bits of map knowledge, some of it's bits of understanding. Okay, this is my opponent's position. This is what I do. You know, it feels like you play very. I mean, I think that was your issue before. It's less so now, but you still play in a way that it feels like you kind of don't keep track of where your opponent is, and you don't say like this is the course of action I should take to prevent myself from dying, or to put myself in a position where I can hit damage, that kind of thing. It feels like sometimes you still play a bit on autopilot, so, yeah, I think still for you it's good to keep thinking about, okay, what's my opponent doing, what can I do, what can I do based on that, you know, try and react to your opponent to a degree. And also just, look at your opponent when you know where they are, or when they're close to you, and you can see them, so that they don't hit unreturned damage on you. So, yeah. But yeah, that's everything. So, thank you for watching, I guess.